Look at you. You're in a new fucking era. You're in a new era where we made our stage look different, our logo look dented, and our theme music sucks. But Raw had maybe the most exciting opener I have seen in a long time. It was good to see an entrance song and pyrotechnics that intro the show and hype up, like give a fan an adrenaline rush so you can watch the show. And then Rey Mysterio came out trying to do a promo about the fans and how he's doing this for his son. Paul Heyman came out intervening the segment to know that Brock Lesnar is the only guy to watch come the premiere episode of SmackDown, where they're going to be on Fox live on 8. Please tune in, everybody. I don't know if I'm going to do a reaction video to this tonight, but still, it's going to be really exciting to see what the hell Friday Night SmackDown is going to plan for us, how it's going to look, what are the superstars going to do for it, especially in the up and coming draft soon. Everything is going to be completely different. And as much as we always want to feel like something's going to be completely different, at least WWE at times give us a reason why we should waste our 2 or 3 hours watching their content. So as soon as Brock Lesnar came, everything went to fucking hell. Not only that he beat the shit out of Rey Mysterio after Rey Mysterio took the mic away from Paul Heyman as soon as he was about to give his introduction. Something that was cool like that, and then it got completely ruined when Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of Rey Mysterio and gave him a brutal suplex in an F5. And it just keeps reminding me how much Brock Lesnar can't do anything wrong. As much as a douche he is, he seems like an egomaniac, and at times I feel like he doesn't give a shit about the business unless it benefits him in a certain way. That's why he's a part-timer. He's still one of the biggest threats to watch, and something like that obviously is going to be built up for something incredibly personal as to beat you up, ruin your chances for the Universal title, and then assault your own fucking son immediately. It's like, it was so scary as shit. Like, literally, my dad just got beaten the shit out of, but now this big ass blondie's looking at me, and he's gonna go, oh shit. Yes, he really did give him a German suplex. Vertical suplex to him outside. He gave Rey Mysterio a vertical suplex and chucked him from the other side of the fucking ring. He beat the shit out of both of those guys. Did more. Gave Dominic another goddamn German suplex, and then gave Rey Mysterio an F5. And then he started assaulting some of the security guards. It looked like nobody else could do anything. It was literally the best intro segment on Monday Night Raw of recent memory. And I haven't seen any intro segments that has been that good. It was scary. It was threatening. It actually felt controversial, and something like that could be built up for something interesting. I can say that that can be the most positive thing I've said about Monday Night Raw in like the last few months. But other than that, well done segment. For the rest of the show, yeah, that's a huge that comes in the open. That's a huge holy shit moment for the opening. And the last holy shit moment that would happen would happen in the end at the main event that had Seth Rollins facing off against Rusev as a replacement for Rey Mysterio for nursing his injuries and helping out his son. And there was this awkward segment before the match and during the match with Alexa Bliss facing up against Sasha Banks as the match opener. After the segment, came up with the ambulance truck sound not coming from a video. It was literally the audio, an audio mistake that came up in the middle of the match, and nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Plus, Becky Lynch was on commentary. It was a match coming from both women, and selling the fact that, oh, Sasha Banks is facing off against Bayley. Sasha Banks is facing off against Becky come Hell in a Cell this Sunday. Mind you, it's still Sunday, yet we're doing a season premiere of 2 new shows. And I'm shocked that it costs like $4.5 billion for fucking SmackDown. Just for SmackDown on Fox. I thought they can get the whole shebang and try to get XFL as well for airing time, as as big as a sports platform Fox is. And it was alright. It ended with I think a backstabber. They came off a backstabber and Sasha Banks came and beat Alexa Bliss in a really irrelevant match that no one had to see except, oh, we're just promoting the tide for the match that we're having later, and then we had Sasha Banks intervene after a promo was done for Rusev, and then Sasha Banks hyped up the segment for hyped up the match for Hell in a Cell that nobody cares about because we've seen how women perform in a Hell in a Cell match. It's not that intuitive. It's like little kids in a giant ass jungle gym, a giant ass like jungle gym cage. It looks cool, but you have the wrong type of people in the cage. Then we had the Raw Tag Team titles on the line with Dolph Ziggler facing off against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode facing off against Heavy Machinery, and it was all right. It was a really good match. I really liked the match. It was physical. There was a pretty good. I think Tucker attempted a tope to Wasita. Good break-offs from pin. I really thought like Heavy Machinery was gonna win it. I think this is gonna be the last time we're gonna see interbrand matches. It's pretty good to see like the glorious DDT because Otis was still Tucker was still legal off and intervene off finishing off Dolph Ziggler interrupting the Heavy Machinery's finisher with a super kick on Otis, so both of them were out the ring. Glorious DDT on Tucker night, and it was the win for I don't know what the fuck they're gonna call it because they're just a new tag team. They were just put up off the bat from that gauntlet match. Thanks, no one cares about the gauntlet matches. So, pretty good match. We also had a segment involving the Authors of Pain. I'm fucking with their goddamn promos that have them speaking in a language, in a different language, where they're just symbolically talking about violence, history of violence, attacking niggas backstage, trying to prove like they're the real shits. Thanks they've been out of action for several months. I think they haven't been in action for a year. So they're back. They have this amazing promo. They look like they can kick ass. And they sound like it too. If only they can bring back that guy they had for NXT, I think Authors of Pain could actually be like a new threat. They're like a more rated PG TV-14 version of 3 Minute Warning, even though 3 Minute Warning was on TV-14 back then. Just a cooler version. Is that better? That was a really good promo. Hopefully enough, we actually get to see the Authors of Pain in actual legit matches, and not just having jobber matches, squash matches every week, and then someone facing off against the OC and making the OCs into jobbers. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson still lost to the Viking Raiders and loss of the Viking experience, and Ivor hit a splash to finish off Luke Gallows. There was a good tope suicida coming from Ivor as well. A big barrage of UFC strikes coming from that bald motherfucker that continues to prove, oh, I'm a Viking, but I'm going to continue doing Aleister Black movesets. And it just proved how much Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows don't even do promos anymore whenever they're hyping up their matches. And they're supposed to be this faction with AJ Styles. And yet they have no promos. They at least try to rip off how you guys behaved on Bullet Club. At least how you guys are more bombastic. You talk crap and always try to make most of your opponents personal so you can get in their heads. And you try to get comedic segments in. That's what I liked at least about the Bullet Club when Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows and AJ Styles were in. They brought up more of an Easternized faction. They actually felt like they're actual foreigners and they don't care where you guys come from. They're just going to take over and kick your ass. And I'm not seeing that with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Thanks to consistently lose every fucking week in 6-man tag gauntlet matches. These guys didn't even get a rematch for their tag team titles that they lost several weeks prior. They're just cool with Ziggler and Rude because they're heel. Just because they're heel, they never even asked for a title shot. So that's just ridiculous. This match was terrible. No one cared. The Viking Raiders win. Then we had Ricochet before Ricochet and Cesaro had a match. They had a promo involving Cesaro being like, I wish Brock Lesnar just left him out for me to do the damage on Rey Mysterio and beat the shit out of Dominic as well. So Cesaro was just trying to make sure he plays the heel, yet he dresses like a track star that you know fucks your girl. So, or fucks your wife. I don't know which. I don't know what happened to his Bob Holly his hardcore Holly gear. But anything else, I'd rather look at that with the stupid ass tracksuit than him literally wearing gym wear in the fucking wrestling match. European uppercut. If you've seen the Cesaro match, you saw everything. Nothing much changed except Ricochet just wanted to do this so he can win and rip off Rey Mysterio's Frankensteiner to hold a pin win just so he can show an homage for Rey Mysterio. So that was it. That was the match. Next up was the United States title match against AJ Styles defending his United States Championship that he won against Ricochet back at Extreme Rules, I think. No, not Extreme Rules. I think it was Stomping Grounds, and nobody cared because I think Ricochet was feuding with him for a bit. And then Cedric Alexander just gets his rematch after what happened back at SummerSlam. And oh my god, I don't think anybody can. Oh my god, he got a rematch back at Clash of Champions, lost as well clean, and he had a full head of steam. Then he still lost a phenomenal forearm. Styles wins again, but this time it was retained after Hurricane Rana countered off to I think a Frankensteiner for Styles clash. There was a nice ass barrage of moves. I don't think he ever attempted the Pele kick in it. Had the calf crusher and really clever reversals. This match was really good, but I can see like Styles does not give a shit about Raw matches. He always saves like his best performances for pay-per-views. I think you should half-ass a bit of your performance and try to make it storyline wise on Raw. I saw Joe Cronin's review of it. Shout out to my man, by the way. Just trying to make sure he feeds his family. Responsible shit like that. Fuck that guy. Any other things like that? This match is alright, but I felt like it was a bit half-assed because we know how these guys perform, and we know they can perform in a way better level than what they'd shown on Raw. Even though I think it had the best finish of the show, and Styles had a pretty good title defense. But this shows like Cedric Alexander's like he's a tremendous talent, but we already got high-flying talent like him, like Ricochet or Mysterio or Ali or Chad Gable that can go up top, or Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. So I feel like Cedric Alexander is just another flying body. So it's not that important. Cedric Alexander isn't that important to the Raw brand. He didn't need to sign if he wanted to. He can just come from 205 Live to NXT and build himself there, so he can at least just get more popularity and shine because now people only remember you because your cruiserweight title match you had against Buddy Murphy that I think only 20 people to watch, and I think 20 people were the cast in What Culture or Cultaholic, so no one cares. We had also the assumed rivalry match that ended via roll-up. Lacey Evans versus Natalya. That was so fucking boring. I'd rather kill a puppy right now. There's levels to this amount of making a competent rivalry to make sure Natalya gets screen time in both the Lacey Evans when we know there's still like women that are on main event, not having any scheduled matches or on Total Divas. That I'd rather do Total Divas, grab a paycheck on a stupid reality show than take bumps for thousands of fans and millions of fans watching, and you might just get over enough so you can actually get your asses to a real TV shows or films. But who am I to say? I'm just Mark that cares about your product actually being more mainstream. You're lucky that you Fox would sacrifice that much money just because like AEW's on TNT and Access now has Impact, and Impact is back on cable television after like 4-year absence. They haven't been on Spike or Paramount. They changed their name to Paramount now. If you guys haven't been watching cable television, but it's obvious in this day and age. If back in the day, if I said, "Oh, you haven't been watching television," I would be like slandered for being you're a dumbass. Everybody watches TV. Not everybody is trying to move cable television out of their mind because of course subscription based streaming content is New Mood and Netflix, WWE Network, ESPN, News, subscriptions are going to be more digital and more accessible around people. So obviously, it would be surprising if people still watch cable television at this time, especially the younger viewers. That's the targeted demographic for WWE, especially even though the more vocal fans are coming from at least 20 to 30-year-olds still watching your product because your product sucks and no kids want to watch it. And Lacey Evans still won, not even with the women's right. It was with a roll-up. I did not get to watch this match, except it was boring with a couple rest holds and it lasted 2 fucking commercials for Natalya and Lacey Evans match. And it's sad to see Lacey Evans just come from, like, at least a contender for the Raw Women's title to just being an afterthought and feuding with Natalya. That just feels like you're irrelevant. When you feud with Natalya, next up is main event for you. Not main event of the card, I'm saying main event the show. Like Ruby Riott. Or Dana Brooke. You know, women that recently feuded with Natalya like a year ago. Then there was, of course, Firefly segment. That would be the final one before we go up to Hell in a Cell. And no one cared. We just knew that he was going to attack. Rusev came up and attacked, helped out Seth Rollins after he's getting assaulted by, I think, there was a segment with, the, Randy Orton and Baron Corbin. Then Rusev came to assist because it was 2-on-1 situation, and I'm owed a title shot for the main event. Thanks for Mysterio's out with Hogan, with Miz TV being the most hyped up segment because it was both. I hate Black's Hogan, and I hate indie Mark piece of shit Ric Flair. And the segment was fun, except I don't think Hogan or Ric Flair knew what they were saying at times. I felt like the segments were completely awkward. None of it could flow. Except now we have a reason to watch Saudi thinks Hulk Hogan's going to be there. Even though Hulk Hogan has kind of a history with people that are Muslim. And I don't think Ric Flair cares. And of course, no women are going to be in the show. So that's not going to give that much buys. Except it's going to be watched on a Friday in like 7 o'clock or 6 when kids are like still coming home from school and people are still at work. So this is completely stupid of a financial strategy, and the only people who are going to watch this are people in Europe or any other parts of the world that go from a different time frame than us, and that's pretty fucking stupid. And a terrible business strategy. Except Saudi's giving WWE a shitload of money that's going to be. We're going to use this as our cap space for. Yeah, I'm going to make a cap space for XFL. Yeah. We hate black people. We hate. And it came off with Seth Rollins getting assistance. So, yeah. The main event was Rusev versus Seth Rollins in a pretty decent exchange. Comebacks off the boards, reversals of high-flying moves, and we had, of course, a barrage of suicide dives coming from Seth Rollins. Off a reversal, top rope, nothing for a super kick or the shot kick, whatever the fuck he calls it. It was doing well so far, and Rusev was getting the upper hand until Baron Corbin and Randy Orton were coming into the ring, seeming to interfere with the Universal title match. Of course, because obviously they're trying to build up Rollins versus the Fiend to make the Fiend Slayer build up. Yes. Because we obviously think Rollins is the most captivating, interesting, most over, electrifying, most exciting, and influential wrestler in the entire fucking business. Because, of course, we tried to do the same thing with Roman Reigns, and now he's on SmackDown. We tried to do the same thing with Dean Ambrose. He's on a rival promotion that's supposed to be alternative. And, of course, John Cena, that is making more money than most of the guys on the roster right now because he doesn't have to fuck with them. And oh God! This to tell you how much Seth Rollins sucks on the mic. Just let alone back on the Miz TV segment. He screams too much. I think that he can make a common point. He's not that interesting of a guy. He comes around just easily leeching on baby faces, and he shows that he has no personality, except he's a faggot that wants to fight anybody that challenges. him. What the fuck? What makes Seth Rollins the most captivating guy? I don't understand what makes him good because he's a good wrestler. I thought WWE strategy was at least find a guy with a decent physique, looks like he can captivate an audience, and at least his moveset looks cool that the kids want to do. We did the same thing for Batista, and people still want him to compete. We do the same thing with Cena, and people at least want him to still be relevant on WWE TV. And now they don't even want to be there. Batista retired after WrestleMania 35 in his match with Triple H, and John Cena is basking in the sunset in Hollywood money. So he obviously doesn't want to compete back in the ring. He's like pushing 40 now. So what's the point? To let this dude already do what multiple wrestlers wish they could do in like over a decade and a half. So give him a break, at least. And we try to give him a break and make the younger guys have a chance. Now the younger guys are fucking worse. They gave Baron Corbin the king of the ring, and nobody cares. The most over guy currently in the company is Chad fucking Gable. And oh my god, Becky Lynch fucking sucks. Oh my god, that match. And then Becky Lynch coming out with a tape and shit, acting like she's badass. It fucking ruined the mood of the match. And so did the sirens. Like, oh god. Whew, that was bad. And it came up with Bobby Lashley coming in as a shocking surprise. We haven't seen Lashley in several months since he was like feuding with Braun Strowman and had that last man standing match and then got speared through the Raw stage. So that was like the most coolest segments we had with Lashley in over a decade since he literally threw himself through a steel cage so he can beat up Umaga or the Billionaires match. So it was cool to see Lashley again, and then, ooh, guess who came? Lana came! And guess what Lana did? I'm gonna put it as the thumbnail anyway, so y'all can explain. So, y'all should understand, because, we all watch porn in this planet, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody has a dick or a pussy and masturbate to anything. Fucking black entertainment. She wants some black dick, and they made out for at least a minute, and these assholes literally like made me shocked. It's like I thought, oh, that's cute. Lana's coming back, maybe to assist with Orton, and you obviously know that's not gonna happen. That big ass black nigga, imagine him fucking Lana. That would be death. Boy, it came up as a really shocking segment. Bray Wyatt came in and then attacked Rusev instead of Seth Rollins as what could be a violent message to Rollins to know that you have a lot to be afraid of. And Rollins expressions or emotions or the way he does his promos never change, even though he's facing off against guys that he shouldn't have beaten, like Brock Lesnar or fucking Bray Wyatt or Braun Strowman. Nothing shows like Seth Rollins has evolved or changed his personality or the way he wrestles ever. Like Kofi Kingston, he still wrestles like a mid-carder, yet he beats like the one of the longer reigns of the Universal title from Kevin Owens, or how he beat Dolph Ziggler twice, or how in the fuck, and a desperate Dolph Ziggler, mind you, and beating Orton clean back at Clash of Champions. So how in the fuck are these world champions even valid? Hopefully, I know it sucks. I know this is a terrible idea. I'd rather see Brock Lesnar as WWE champion, and I'd rather see Bray Wyatt as Universal champion, just for a bit of change of pace. Especially for this new era, we sort of need new champions. The Intercontinental title has been irrelevant. United States title has been irrelevant. The two tag team titles and two women's titles have been irrelevant. That's the case. And the only people keeping it for the women's division to even be relevant is Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch fucking sucks. And most of the women's division is injured or either no one cares about it. And oh wow, just the premiere of Raw had so many, like a few good stints that I thought it was going to be a positive episode because it had one of the best openers I've seen in a long time. But it still has some issues, a lot of issues. But come like after Hell in a Cell and maybe a plot twist emerges, hopefully we get a lot more to be excited about. Because this Raw was disappointing of a premiere, but it did have some shocking moments. And shocking moments sometimes can speak louder to the viewers than even the biggest flaws that come into watching the whole 3 hours of the season premiere of Raw. The stage looked different. There was pyro. There was music. there was actual reason to watch Raw. So keep it up. Maybe bring back a GM. Get rid of the two women's title belts. Make the Cruiserweight title get more screen time because 205 Live is going to be canceled. So what's the point of leaving the Cruiserweights out there in the dust? I think there's still a reason for the Cruiserweights, even though we have a lot of midgets on the main roster. Raw gets a... I'm going to be polite. I want to give it a 5 out of 10. But I'm giving it a 4. It had a great intro, but the body sucked. And the conclusion was hit and miss. That's how I felt it was. Type in your comments down below, like the video, share it. I always like whenever somebody comments on my videos. Always keeps the discussion going, and it just builds up more of a wrestling fan in you whenever you guys comment. So